digging into Mr. Singh, you know, the famous illegal alien that got into a 18 wheeler less than 7 years ago after he came across the Mexican border illegally. Yet he was able to get a commercial Class A license from the state of Washington. Yes, you know, the state of Washington that kind of looked the other way. Questionable records. Why they gave him a commercial driver's license is beyond me. I'm a former truck driver myself. And this is barbaric. I'm sorry, I am not liberal at all. And I generally do not discuss politics. But these liberal states need to stop. They're killing Americans. Yes, this goes back. The blood is on every liberal governor in our country. Because after liberal Washington State issued illegal a commercial driver's license, then when it was near expiring, California, oh, that'd be Gavin Newsom, issued this gentleman a license. And this guy's from India. Has anyone seen how they drive in India? They have no rules of the road. They don't understand English. And New Mexico. Oh, another liberal state with a very much liberal governor. Stopped this guy last July. Not this past, a year ago. And they gave him a test to see if he comprehended English. Well, you want to know what he scored? Out of 10 questions, if he could comprehend the English language, he scored a 2. 2 out of 10 questions. And we're allowing this guy on our roads, killing this guy, Mr. Singh, that just unalived 3 people in Florida, have now, we find out that he was involved in an accident recently, within the last 3 years, where he unalived 2 others. So we've got this illegal alien from India driving an 18-wheeler like it's yesterday, killing or unaliving 5 American citizens. Ron DeSantis, the Florida governor, where Mr. Singh killed the recent, or unalived the recent 3, doing an illegal U-turn. You don't do U-turns in semis, guys. I'm a former truck driver. You just don't do that. Mr. Singh not only was attempting an illegal U-turn, he was using a turnaround on Florida Turnpike to do it, and he was blocking all lanes northbound during his attempt. First of all, guys, those turnarounds are made for cars, not 18-wheelers. And if you watch the video, he actually jackknifed the truck to attempt this. He can't speak the language. He's driving a automatic. And the state of New Mexico should have yanked him off the road when they did their DOT inspection last month. But they allowed him to drive away. Folks, we have to stop issuing driver's licenses for illegal aliens who cannot comprehend English and do not understand American rules of the road. And please hit that like button. I'm going to cover this case, guys, until justice is served. That means this guy gets whatever Florida decides he deserves. Now, he did unalive 3 people. It is Florida, so capital punishment is on the books. You just don't get away with jumping in a truck and unaliving people at the rate Mr. Singh is. He crossed the Mexican border 7 years ago under a certain Joe Biden and was allowed to stay. Washington State issues him a license to drive semi. That is a Class A CDL. A semi truck, fully loaded, is 80,000 pounds. Hey, Damon, nice to see you this morning. Thanks for joining. Guys, that's a deadly weapon. Your car's a deadly weapon. Why are we allowing illegal immigrants who come from third world countries such as India? Have you seen how they drive in India? No wonder this gentleman tried to do a U-turn in a semi-truck and first responders turnarounds only, jackknifing the truck, blocking all lanes northbound of the Florida Turnpike near St. Pierce, Florida. Folks, I've driven down there. I'm a retired truck driver myself. And the first thing you're taught is never do a U-turn in a truck. Yet we're issuing licenses to guys that attempt this stuff. Why not just pay the extra toll and get turned around and go back to the exit you wanted? I'm sorry, but I don't endorse the liberal side of our politics, but I'm not a politician. I'm about rescuing dogs and doing the right thing, keeping family-friendly channel. This guy has to be severely punished. Not only this guy, but his co-driver. Oh yes, the co-driver was his brother. Also from India. And as a professional driver, I don't want you on the road if you can't speak English. If you don't understand our... Thank you, Damon. I appreciate that. But like I said, I don't want them on the road. If they can't comprehend basic English language, rules of the road, and score at least an 8 on understanding English tests. Both Mr. Singh and his brother scored, the guy that was driving scored a 2, and the guy that was his co driver, also with a CDL, scored a 1, folks. 1. And yet we're allowing them to drive 80,000 pounds across our country. Why are so many liberal states allowing them licenses to even drive a car? And sadly, where I live, Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer just approved licensing for undocumented workers, is her statement. Those are illegals. There is no such thing as undocumented. They're undocumented because they entered the country illegally, meaning they didn't come across immigration the way they're supposed to. Guys, I'm not just making these videos because I want to, or these podcasts. I am making these because it's my family, it's your family, it's your neighbor's family. It's United States citizens that suffer because of bad choices made by some very liberal politicians such as Gretchen Whitmer, Tim Walz, Gavin Newsom. If you issue a license to a illegal alien, you're in the wrong. There should be fluent tests given to them. And yes, I agree with that, Damon. But these guys come from India. Have you ever seen how they drive in India? It's like starving rats and throwing a piece of cheese in the middle of them, and watch how they all go running towards that cheese and they'll kill each other to get there. That's how they drive in India. And yet we allow these people to come here and, oh, sure, you can have a license. Just pay $2,000 under the table and we'll give you a license to drive a 18-wheeler automatic. Yes, as a former truck driver, I can tell you there is a serious shortage of truck drivers in our country. Yes, I've been there. I know there's reasons why I left. And believe me, I am no fan of the Department of Transportation. I climbed out of the truck the day they put in what I call a babysitter. A babysitter that not only tracks your every move, they now have cameras that watch eye movement while you're driving. They now have speed sensors that tell you if you're too close to the vehicle in front of you, even if they cut you off, that go beep, 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 and will drive you nuts because someone cut you off. The American public, A, don't have respect for trucks. You see that every day on the highways of our nation. When you see a car go racing from behind that truck, do a legal lane change, accelerate to where they're speeding to get up in front of the truck, and then they just, if they want the next exit, they'll cut that truck off to get that exit. And you wonder why there's so many truck accidents in our country. A fully loaded semi truck, 18 wheeler, weighs 80,000 pounds of freight. That truck is 95 foot. Is your life or anyone else's life worth risking to get that next exit because you don't want to wait a minute to let that truck driver clear the exit so you can get on it? Chat, do you know how far it requires a semi truck? How much distance it requires for a semi truck driver at 65 miles an hour, fully loaded at 80,000. Yes, I did say 1,000. That's 40 tons to stop that 40 tons. Can anyone guess? Put it in chat if you can tell me the distance. And I want you all to understand next time you jump behind the wheel and you're out on the highway how far it takes 80,000 pounds to stop at 65, which is the truck speed limit in the United States. Does anyone have a guess? 98 feet. Damon, you're about halfway there. It requires over 2 U.S. football fields. And I'm not just talking the 100 yards. I'm talking the goals ends as well. The entire thing. It requires more than 2 of them to bring 80,000 pounds of semi truck at 65 to stop. So the next time you're on the road and you want that exit, is it worth putting your life at risk? Is it worth putting your child's life at risk? Your wife's, your mother's, your grandmother's? 80,000 pounds require over 2 American football fields end to end. Just to stop. When you're on the highway and you pass a semi, you should always go 2 tractor trailer, meaning that's 85 foot long from the end of that trailer to his front of his cab. You should always do 2 semi links before you even put your blinker on to go over. And when you do, you should indicate, meaning turn your turn signal on to get back into that driver's lane, and wait for the count of 10 unless you see that semi truck blink its lights at you. Because what that driver's telling you when that happens, and that's happened to everybody on the road, that, hey, you have enough room to come back over. I see you. You're safe. And if that does happen, you should get back into that lane, turn your turn signal off, and turn your hazards on for 2 blinks. That is driver etiquette that most semi trucks drivers that I drove with used. And when you turn your hazards on, you're telling them, hey, thank you for looking out for me. And thank you for allowing me to get back into this lane. American public is naive when it comes to semis. When I drove, this guy could not have driven. Um, I went to truck driving school 6 months. My first assignment was in Mesquite, Texas. With that company, I had to go to their school of 6 weeks. 6 week orientation with driving skills, meaning they were testing driver skills. You drove every day and you got tested on your driving skills. And then upon completion of that 6 weeks, you were assigned a company trainer, meaning someone that has gone through additional training that's been with the company over a year, and all newbies were assigned a personal trainer, where you went out on the highways of our nation for 6 weeks with that trainer. So now you're at 12 weeks. That's 3 months. Then, after you graduate out of the truck, you go back to Mesquite and you go through another week of advanced training. Upon completion of that, they take 2 rookies out of that class, put them together, and say, you're now team partners for 6 weeks. So you got 2 new guys in one truck for 6 weeks. You do not graduate early. After that 6 weeks, they bring you back to Mesquite, and then, and only then, do you get assigned your truck. Well, when I got there was a waiting list of about 20 guys waiting for their trucks. And every day a few guys got their trucks. I waited a week. I was finally called into the safety office. They said, hey, congratulations, we got you a truck. The only problem is you've got to go to Ohio to retrieve your truck. Thanks, Damon, for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing. Hopefully, you'll join soon. Come back soon. I'm going to be doing a classic car rally cruise tonight. Should be between 4:30 and 6. You don't want to miss that, folks. It's the classic US 27 cruise to the Mackinac Bridge. If you like old cars, you definitely want to stop by. So I jumped on a Greyhound. Hey, Shelly, I appreciate you stopping by. Like I said, I'm doing a classic car show tonight that you don't want to miss. I think you said you were in Ohio, if I remember right. It's been a while since I talked to you. I'm in Michigan, and they have the US 27 Classic Car Show to the Mackinac Bridge Drive Cruise, whatever you want to call it. They're going through my area, and I will be out there tonight. If you like classic cars, please come back and watch. Oh, you're in central Illinois, or Illinois. Um, it's supposed to be between 4:30 and 6 my time, so take an hour away from that, so 3:30 to 5ish your time. Yes, I'm in central Michigan, so and I thought I would do a live this morning, something different, early. The dogs are asleep. That's part of the reason I do not have the camera on. And I'm discussing the truck accident down in Florida with the illegal alien that unalived 3 people. Less than 5 years ago, he unalived 2 others from India, so it's not good. I know Central Illinois pretty well. I spent time in Bourbonnais. Notice I said it correctly. I went to Olivet Nazarene University. At the time, Olivet Nazarene College. Right off 57 there, Shelly. So that tells you I definitely know your area. Oh, absolutely. California sucks big time. Um, but the problem is, it's just not California. The state that this gentleman first got his, or illegal alien got the license in, was Washington. Then he lived in Scottston, or Scottsdale, my bad, California. And California renewed that license. This guy did not score very well on if he could understand the English language. Out of 10 questions, Shelley, he got, ready for this? He got 2 correct out of 10. And have you seen how they drive in India? And yet, he's given a license to drive an 18-wheeler in our country. Pretty scary. And if you're stop by, please hit that like and subscribe button for me. It helps my channel. And if you hit that like, I would appreciate it as well. But there are serious problems when a illegal alien that came across the Mexican border less than 7 years ago is driving a 18,000-pound semi truck. That's how much a semi weighs fully loaded. And what makes this even worse is the state of New Mexico stopped this gentleman last year in July and failed to yank him off the road when he could not understand the DOT officers. Well, from Chicago to Kankakee, Bourbonnais, is only like an hour down 57. And from that area, I probably live up almost 8 hours. I live in this middle of Michigan. You can't get much more middle than where I live. Or should I say, the lower peninsula. If you look at the state of Michigan, it looks like a mitten. And from the center of the mitten to my location is maybe 12 miles. But I thought I would do a quick live. Like I said, I'm doing the classic car cruise tonight. Make sure you tune in. You don't want to miss it if you like classic American cars. But, folks, we've got to take control of who we're issuing licenses for. I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent, or just don't care. Oh, so you were at MIS. How do you like MIS? It's crazy down there. Our country needs to stop issuing licenses to illegal aliens. So, Shelly, who do you like driver wise in NASCAR? Well, you could say that about any track. I mean, Bristol is not Talladega. Talladega is its own party scene. See, I'm an old school uh, fan, so my favorite driver of all time was AJ Foyt. Oh, you're one of those. No, I'm not a Bush fan. Him or his brother. Never have, never will be. But yeah, I'm a AJ Foyt fan from way back, and then I like Jimmy Johnson. Hated Tony Stewart with passion, and so as a professional driver, because I was a OTR. If you don't know what OTR stands for, it is over the road, meaning a truck driver. Yes, I was over the road, meaning I would be gone anywhere from 3 weeks to possibly 3 months. My first year of truck driving, this is not a lie. I was managed to get home for 13 hours, and they were all together my first year, meaning I stayed in the truck the rest of that time. I just happened to be going through my hometown and I had some extra time, so I knew where I could park the truck, and so I did so. And I managed to get home for 13 hours. And then when my dispatcher asked me why I shut down for 13 hours, I told him, oh, I was just tired. But the truth was, I was going through my hometown. Why not stop? That's really cool. I like Chad. He's all right. There are some drivers I wouldn't give you the time of day for, and your driver's one of them. Because the M&M thing's just a sponsorship, and to give most people that are here that have never viewed my channel before, I'm usually talking about my dogs who are both rescues and they are both emotional support. I have two dogs. Odie, who is my Australian Shepherd, purebred, raised, or yeah, he wasn't raised. He was on a puppy mill of the Amish. So he doesn't have papers, even though he's purebred. And he does look like the avatar in the middle of the screen. He is 10 years old, and I rescued him just about 6.5 years ago. Then Miss Dakota, who kind of looks like the avatar, but put an arrow between her eyes from her nose up, is 5.5. I rescued her about 4.5 years ago. Dakota also was born on a Amish puppy mill. She is purebred, but she does not have papers. These two will fight, but then they're the best buds. They have to know where each other is. Dakota's constantly cleaning Odie and playing with him. If I move, they both will alert. Now, I do have sugar diabetes, and Dakota is constantly looking on me. She is a trained diabetes dog. And her training was her and I went for almost 6 months to the center where she was trained. If you have the room in your home and your heart for giving a dog a forever home, please rescue. Please, please, please go rescue a dog. You might be giving them their forever home, but they're giving you forever love in return. These two dogs are my kids, and I have already paid for cremation for all three of us. And if they go before me, I will have their remains brought to me in an urn. And when I do pass away, I have left instructions that I am to be cremated and each of their ashes put in with mine. My dogs are my world. I do not go anywhere without them, generally. Now, I don't take them in the public too much. Like, I took them to the fireworks show at a local casino near me, which was a pretty good show. It lasted over a half hour. Shelly, even if you just got a dog because you have PTSD, as long as the doctor suggested it, have them sign a letter, and then you can go get a pup and train them yourself. And they cannot charge you, like if you rent, people can't charge you any fees concerning that dog at all. Well, even if you own, you can take a emotional support animal into any store, and it's easy to train an animal. Just pretty much get a puppy and just treat it as your child. They will get to know you and know how to calm you down. Having a dog calms you down. You'd be surprised if you got a puppy and just started working with it yourself, how fast that puppy would come around. My dogs, I can't even get up to go to use the restroom without them alerting. Well, emotional support is a type of service dog, Shelley. And there are several. Pardon me. I yawned. It's still early. Um, there are several dogs that need to be rescued. Even a young dog, a young pup, like under a year old, you could train. Just treat them as a regular member of like your son or daughter. And there are thousands of dogs that need their forever home. Yeah, you have to clean up after them and you got to feed them. But I'm sorry to hear that. I think it would help you just to have a dog that when you start going into that, you can just hug on and whatnot. I mean, my dogs are phenomenal. Even if I have a cold, Odie will not leave my side. And he is not trained at all. He just picks up what Dakota does and he's starting to mimic everything she does. So he's learning. And if I have a cold or if I don't feel good, I'll physically tell him, Odie, Daddy doesn't feel good. And he will come right up to my side and he will not leave my side. Even if I get in, like when I go to bed, he will crawl into bed with me and lay his head on my neck. Dogs can sense when a person does not feel good, and they can sense when you're depressed or going through a tough time. They will react to you once they get to know you. Plus, having a dog in the house just makes my day. I was born with in a family of that we always had a dog. And that's part of the reason I got Dakota was our first dog that I remember. My parents got her when I was 6 months old and she was 6 months old. Was an Alaskan Malamute named Tusha. Well, when Tusha had her pups, no one was allowed by Tusha near her pups. There was only one person in the house she trusted enough to let anyone near her pups, and it was me. So that's why I have a Alaskan Malamute. They're very loyal. Yeah, those small dogs I call footballs. Um, Odie is an Australian Shepherd. That is a farm dog, but Odie, like I said, is very attached to me at the hip, and he will be all over the place. And Dakota will wake me up every morning. She comes up and starts giving me kisses every morning. The only problem with Dakota is I have to lock down the kitchen every time I leave. Like if I'm leaving her alone at home or her and Odie alone for a few minutes, say to run to the dollar store, if I do not put everything away, and I can't even leave a loaf of bread on top of the refrigerator, I gotta put it in the microwave because she will get on her hindquarters, reach up, and she will eat all the bread. Granted, their dog food bowl is full, but she doesn't like dog food. She wants human food. She wants what I eat. And I can't bring a pizza in the house unless I share it with her. About a month ago, I went and for me to go to town, I live out in the country slash woods. It takes me 18 miles one way to get to town. I went in and got a hot and ready. Well, I drove home. I brought it in the house. I took Odie outside to do his business, and I came back in. The box is on the floor with the lid open and no pizza to be had. So Dakota got to eat a entire pizza by herself. Dakota's the same way, but she will actually howl until she gets what she wants. She will howl. She will talk to you howling. And there are videos on my channel of her howling. She howls all the time. It's her way of talking. Dakota, are you a good girl? You want a treat? What do you say? You want a treat? What do you say? You want a treat, Dakota? Talk. Let's see if I can get her to howl. You want a treat? What do you say? You want a cookie? You want a cookie? You want a cookie, Dakota? You want a cookie? What do you say? Talk. Talk. She won't talk right now, but if I got a dog bone, she will talk. And I get my dog bones at Menards. I can get 20 pounds of dog bone for $21. There's Odie. What do you say? What do you say, Dakota? What do you say? What do you say? What do you say? What do you say, Dakota? Talk. You want a bone? You want this? You want this? You do? Are you sure? They're not spoiled at all. Like I said, I do buy my dog biscuits at Menards, 20 pounds for $21. And they have small, medium, and large. I get the large for my pups. But like I said, tonight I plan on going and doing a live from the US 27 cruise to Mackinac Bridge. And where they're going to be tonight is they stop at certain points and spend the night. Well, one town up from me is where they're going to be stopping for tonight, so I will be there. I can understand that, Shelly. Being a former truck driver, I fell off the steps to get in the truck more than once. And I have degenerative knee disorder as well. So my knees are totally shot. They want me to have surgery, both knees. But I have these dogs and I live alone. My nearest relative is about 10 miles away from me. And where I live is pretty sad. I can go to the Indian casino faster than I can go to Walmart or a grocery store. So after I do my live tonight, I will be picking up my groceries because I don't go to town just to go to town. I have to have a reason to go to town. And I won't just go to the grocery store. If I go anywhere, it's to the dollar store because the dollar store is only 7 miles away versus 18. So I don't go very many places. What? You gonna talk? Sorry to hear that. Well, I don't go anywhere unless it's a doctor's appointment, a vet appointment, or to make some content. I live out in the country, so about 3 weeks ago, I made a video of a field less than a half mile from my house that there was between 65 to 100 white-tailed deer in one field. That was kind of a cool sight to see. And I didn't have my selfie stick or my tripod with me, so it was really shaky. Well, if you got a dog for your panic attacks, you could teach it to go with you for car rides, and that would help. Like I said, I live out in the country and it's nice and peaceful here. I live on an acre of land, so it is fenced in, and I do have a gate with a lock on it, so the dogs can run as they would want. They're spoiled, even though I just got through Miss Dakota's shed of this year, and it wasn't a day later that Odie started shedding. Now, when they start shedding, I have to vacuum my house at least 8 times a day. Actually, our last 2 winters have been so mild, there hasn't really been much. I'm, uh, I really don't have a problem with winter. Where I'm at, it's more or less early spring rainstorms because they're usually very windy. Um, this year, we lost power for 5 days twice within 5 weeks. And that was during the summer or spring. But I also have a container garden where I grow my own vegetables. See, we're out in the country. When I open my front door, I look at woods. My nearest neighbor is a quarter mile to my west. No, you just adapt and life goes on. I'm in the process of getting a solar generator, meaning it takes no energy. You charge it with solar panels, and you can power so much of your house without electricity with it. Yes, I'm a former truck driver. Sold my house in the city and moved to the country. I got tired of hearing sirens, hearing neighbors fight, loud music, cars roaring up and down the highway or street. Where I live, the street that I'm on, or the road I'm on, it's a road. It's a dirt road, actually. I bet you if we see 20 cars a day, that's a lot. Not only do I have my dogs, but I also have 5 laying chicks, 8 teenagers, and 20 chicks that are about 8 weeks old. So I get my own eggs. And let me tell you, I bought store bought eggs the other day just to compare. And store bought eggs are bland. When you have your own free roam chickens, you're like the yolks of the store-bought eggs were a very pale yellow. My eggs that I get from the coop every day are bright, almost a bright orange. What those chickens are fed will dictate what color your yolk is. And let me tell you, my coop eggs taste a lot better than store bought. My sister went on vacation with her son and daughter in law and husband and grandkids. She got, uh, she asked me to bring her so many dozen eggs, and I did, and she loved them. Well, Shelly, hens can lay eggs without roosters, and it's not that hard to keep them up. Table scraps. And do you ever stop and buy farm fresh eggs? Are they roaming egg? Free roam chickens? My chickens are all free roam, meaning I could leave the gate open and I wouldn't have a problem. They wouldn't leave. The only problem I've had is my dog's got a raccoon a couple months ago, and then a couple weeks ago I heard some commotion and I went out and I opened up the coop to look, and there's a raccoon in there, and he's already gone after three. Let's just say those were the only three that he got. I managed to get him out of the coop, and then I took my brand new shovel and broke the handle. But I also broke his skull when I did it. May, come here. Come here, Dakota. Lay down, baby. But yes, farm fresh eggs are very good, and uh, usually people that have chickens will sell eggs like 3 or 4 dozen. Oh, I understand that. That's how it is all over the place. We have villages here in Michigan, you can't have chickens. You drive less than a mile away and they have chickens because they're not in the village. I just don't think after living in Illinois to go to school, I don't think I could live there. Now, don't get me wrong. I still go to Chicago. I go, but it's just like with my vehicle. People laugh at my vehicle. They're like, "Hey, your vehicle is almost 25 years old," and I'm like, "Yep, and it's still running. It's 4-wheel drive. Everything works." I don't need a new vehicle. I don't have anyone to impress. I don't want to impress anybody. I've got what I want. And if I decide to take a nap, I can take a nap. If I decide to run to Walmart, I can run to Walmart. Or if I want to run to Meyer, I can go to Meyer. If I want to go fishing, I can go fishing. There's a river less than like 3 miles from my house. And if I go fishing, the only people that are going to be there are the rednecks up here that fish. Because I don't go to the rivers that run through the cities. I go to the river that's just down the road, down the dirt road, out in the middle of nowhere near the artesian well. And I don't use well water out of the pump house. I go down to the artesian well and get bottled water and I bring it home. Much better water, better quality, no additives. So I don't have to worry about what the city is dumping into my water. Well, I've got to check my blood, and I also have to get my breakfast around. Well, you're probably happier since you've been away from California. Well, I'm going to get off here. I will be back on this afternoon with the classic car shows. So if you like classic American cars, please tune in. Like I said, it should be between 4:30 and 6 my time. So, and I'm Eastern Daylight Time, so you can adjust your, because like right now, I don't even know what time it is. It is 7:30 a.m. Michigan time. So y'all have a blessed day. I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for viewing. Hit that like as you exit, please. And if you haven't subscribed, please do.